At his Las Vegas rally last night, he did not mention the name E. Jean Carroll. Also new today, a new filing by the special monitor in Trump's $370 million fraud trial. It shows Trump Org falsified disclosures over a $48 million loan that may not have existed, amounting to what could be tax evasion. And as Trump recovers from the $83.3 million walloping in the Carroll case, my next guest has a bold proposition to resolve Trump's legal issues once and for all.
It might have been a president or an attorney general who could have cut some global deal for him. I mean, there's some way, if you blink and stand back, what should happen here? He should go away and never, ever come back, and maybe pay a lot of money and maybe wear an ankle bracelet for a while, but really go away and never, ever come back.
And my friend Harry Litman, that guy right there, joins me now. He is a former U.S. attorney, of course, and former deputy assistant attorney general in the Clinton administration. Now he's host of the Talking Feds podcast, also a legal affairs columnist with the L.A. Times. The question is, what don't you do, my friend? Anyway, before, Harry, that we get to this idea of a global deal, he has not publicly mentioned E. Jean Carroll since the ruling. Could he be putting himself on some sort of a defamation budget?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it is significant because it shows him having been brought to heel. You saw his supporters there just saying he doesn't take any crap. He does what he wants and gets away with it. Here, he did what he wanted, but didn't get away with it, got socked once a little bit, and now very harshly. And I think maybe Alina Habba, maybe in his own mind, is like, that's a path I can't go on. I've been burned very severely. We'll see. But I think it would be a really encouraging sign that the legal system can actually constrain him.
Yeah, the point of Burns, really third degree on that. What about Lena Habba, who had some pretty testy exchanges with Judge Kaplan? At one point, he told her, "You're on the verge of spending some time in the lockup. Now sit down." Later, he said, "If you violate my instructions again, Ms. Habba, there may be consequences." And then when Habba tried to raise doubt on the assault, Judge Kaplan told her, "The fact that Mr. Trump sexually assaulted Ms. Carroll is established." Habba then pushed right back, saying, "It is established by a jury." And Judge Kaplan said, "It is established and you will not quarrel with me." Harry, did the Trump team miscalculate on their legal strategy?
Well, look, they've been a comedy of bumbling errors for many months, but she does seem to have been perfectly chosen to be the wrong lawyer in the courtroom. And, she got generally mocked for not having the basic skills, which I think is true. But more than that, she tussled with the judge. She tussled with the everything about the proceedings. She was Trumpian. You represent Trump in something like this, you need to portray that you don't have contempt, and you need to try, good luck to you, to make him a sympathetic figure. So I do think part of the rough week he had was having chosen a counsel who doesn't seem to have any it's not just chops, but kind of judgment about how you try a case like this when it's already been established, and you may not quibble that your client has sexually assaulted the plaintiff and then lied about it.
So Judge Arthur Engoron has said he's trying to deliver a ruling in the civil fraud trial by Wednesday. How do you, Harry, expect him to rule on the $370 million? Do you expect Trump is going to get clobbered again? And then what happens next in terms of Trump actually paying up all these millions of dollars?
Two questions. On clobbered again, yes, although I think he'll come in under what James has asked. Remember, she first asked for $250 million. She has tried to document, but now's the time where if you're Engoron, you're thinking about, I'm about to give the case up. How can I not get reversed? So my best guess is he comes in a figure closer to 250, maybe even under it. In terms of getting paid, everyone is, oh, Trump gets away with stuff. But it's true that the eventual plaintiffs, well, one is New York State, one is E. Jean Carroll. They could have a long road, but Trump, has to put up money and soon in order to appeal. And that again hurt. I mean, he genuinely took it on the chin this week. The cases and the legal landscape genuinely drew blood. It's true that it'll take a while till she has it in hand. She said she wants to do, good things with it. but it's also true that the hammer has come down, and he will be having to part with millions of dollars fairly soon.
Well, listen, in fact, you think that the E. Jean Carroll ruling is just the beginning of an avalanche for Trump. Can you explain to us your idea for a global deal to keep Trump out of prison? And is there an appetite for that right now on either side?
You know, there's just not a place for it. So thank you for playing that clip. But the next couple sentences were, you know, that would be what would make sense in a world, but it's not our world. You have the country literally polarized and as bad as it's been since the Civil War. And there's an obvious global remedy of having, you know, a Solomonic figure who just doesn't exist to come in and find the sweet spot where the Trump lovers think he's being, taken advantage of, and the Trump haters think it's too easy on him. Something like we did with Nixon, something like pay back every penny you stole with the emoluments clause and wear an ankle bracelet and go away. But we can't do that here anymore. And it's not just one reason that seems obvious is you've got different jurisdictions, states and others. I think that there was a time when that could have been overcome. But we've been so vigilant about trying to treat him like any other litigant. There's literally no one to step in, including, say, the president of the United States, who's trying to be double arm's length here and actually make that happen. If this were a different kind of client, not running for the presidency of the United States, and a different lawyer than Alina Habba, they would sit him down and say, look, you gave it a shot. This is it. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. You've got to sue for peace in some way. But he has staked it all on the political campaign. Nobody can really stop him. And there's no one or nowhere to sue for peace. That's the point I was trying to make in the snippet.
Well, I can bet that I'm not alone in being someone who appreciated this thought, appreciated this snippet as well. So thank you very much, Harry Litman, for the conversation.
Thank you, Alex.
Coming up next, more on the breaking news from overseas, the killing of 3 U.S. troops, plus what AOC said on Meet the Press about something very important President Biden